This is a letter to my 18-year-old self. This started as like a brainstorm for a blog or a newsletter idea, but this is what it's turned into, so I hope that it can help somebody else today. If you're not the version of you that you want to be, you're not living the life you really want, then stay here for a few minutes. I saw crazy positive changes in my body, my mindset, my love life, and my professional life once I stopped telling myself that changing is hard. I went from being single for 4 years, feeling chunky and insecure about my body, working a full-time job for $55K a year, to now being engaged to my best friend, getting in the best physical shape I've ever been in, and earning 5 figures a month while traveling for like 2 months at a time. And all of that happened because I got honest with myself about why I hadn't changed sooner. Because the actual change is not the hard part. The step right before it is. And that's what this is about. Why we think we can't become what we want to be, how I moved past that, and how you can too. So why do we tell ourselves that it's hard to become what we want to be? I think there are 2 major reasons why we do this, and I'm actually curious to hear which one people relate to more. The first is that we can choose to be less today, so we do. In today's first world life, we basically get to make up the role we want to play. You don't have to be physically fit anymore to catch your food or outrun predators, so fitness is a choice now. Our basic survival needs are really easily met, so we don't have to do a lot of things. So people usually choose the path of less friction. They don't try to be something different, yet they're not proud and excited about who they are. And that was me. I was not proud and excited about the person I was. I wasn't proud of the way I looked. I wasn't proud of where I was in my career. I wasn't proud of the actions that I took. But I just told myself this big fat lie that so many of us choose to believe, that we are who we are. And it's hard to change who we are, and it's hard to change how we've always been. It's hard to change our habits. I bought into this for my entire life until I decided that it's not. It's really quite simple. It's only hard to change when you don't want to change. Eric Thomas, I think, is one of the greatest motivational speakers. He pretty much just yells all the time. And he has a really famous quote that says, "When you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, only then you'll be successful." I wanted to be in better shape and have more energy and still enjoy my food, but I didn't want it bad enough to invest money in learning. I wanted to not work in an office every day, but not bad enough to quit and pursue my own thing. And I wasn't thrilled where my life was going, but it was just easier to not change. We don't make our goals happen because we tell ourselves that it's not the end of the world if we don't. You have to stop doing that. Getting everything you want out of life is not a nice to have. It has to become a must. If you secretly hate looking in the mirror, but you're not doing anything to change that, or if you feel unfulfilled with your job, but you're not pursuing anything else, or if you regularly spat with your partner over the same shit and you keep telling yourself that they're the problem, you don't want the change bad enough yet. You're still telling your same stories. And there are a lot of people who will disagree with me and say, that's not true, I want to change, I just have this reason and this reason and this thing going on that I'm dealing with, so, easier said than done. And they're right. It is easier said than done. It's way easier to list all the things that make it hard than to maneuver around those things. It's easier to do nothing, it's easier to change nothing, just like it's easier to lay down than it is to walk. But by clinging to that, you're telling yourself that becoming everything you want to be is too hard. It's unrealistic. Are you trying to make your goals happen, or are you pretending to try? You can use this exercise to figure it out, because this is exactly what I did. Number 1, write down something about you that you're not proud of. Maybe you're not happy with the way you look naked. Maybe you feel stuck or unfulfilled in your career. Maybe your relationship with your partner has gone stale vanilla. Now ask yourself this question. It's a yes or no question. There's no in-between answer. Am I doing absolutely everything I possibly can right now to change this? Yes or no? First thought that comes to mind. Are you being honest with yourself, though? Let's see. Now you're going to take 10 minutes to write down every single thing that you could ever possibly try to improve it. And like, seriously get creative here. Everything that you could possibly do to change that for yourself. And once you've done that and you have your list, put a check mark next to the actions you've already taken. This is what's hard. This is the hard part. You have to get real with yourself and you have to take responsibility for what your life is today. I had to take responsibility for why I wasn't happy with me. I was like, okay, I've been going to the gym for 13 years. I leave every workout drenched in sweat. I eat more strictly than anybody I know, and yet I'm not losing weight or really getting stronger. So maybe I don't know as much as I thought I did. Like, it took me years to even consider that because it's fucking hard to admit that you are your own problem. It's hard for some of us to dig deep into ourselves and to come face to face with why we're not who we want to be. But you have to stop telling yourself these grand stories about why things are this way. Stop clinging to the idea that the way you are today is permanent because of something that happened in your past. Yes, trauma is real, scars are real, you are a product of your past, but you are not a prisoner of your past. You wake up every single day and choose what actions you take. And if you're still telling yourself that it's hard to change because of your past, then you're just choosing to stay the same every single day. This part where you're honest with yourself about the excuses you're making is the hard part, not the actual change itself. Changing just comes down to taking different actions. Change is really fucking simple. It's just implementing a new habit. That's all it is. When you're about to go do that thing that you used to do, like going to the couch and turning the Xbox on, you do a different action. You grab your exercise shoes. Doing a new action is easy once you decide truly for yourself that you're excited to evolve. And this brings me back to the second major reason that we don't become who we want to be. We believe that change is hard because we associate change with pain. Maybe you've only ever changed when something shitty happened. Heartbreak, loss, failure, they all require us to change in some way. Maybe you've never willingly made a change just because you simply wanted to better yourself, just to accomplish a goal and make yourself proud. And maybe if you chose to do that more often, you'd find that change really isn't that hard when it's embraced instead of enforced. And you embrace it when you let go of those stories that you're holding on to. If you're trying to accomplish something, it's not your motive that gets you there, it's your action. So your old story does not matter anymore. It doesn't matter whether a woman works out because she loves herself or because she's trying to get a revenge body on her ex. The required action remains the same. So trade your stories on why it's hard to change for the actions that will change you. I had to drop my stories about my eating disorder and my insecurity and my being cheated on. Like, they all still happened and I still learned from them, but I stopped using them as an excuse to just be the way I was. I wanted something different, so I had to be something different. So for me, I took the action of hiring a really awesome trainer and I kept taking every single little action that he told me to take. I started focusing more on making decisions that I'd be proud to own up to, like the littlest things like picking up a piece of garbage instead of stepping over it. And I'd ask myself continually, would I be proud of this action? And if the answer wasn't a yes, I wouldn't do it. I make progress every single day on trying to be a really good partner to my fiance. I focus on what I'm bringing to our relationship, how I react in conflicts, and what I can do to have the kind of relationship that I want. Once you decide that those goals can actually happen for you, if you make them happen, then it becomes fucking exciting to watch yourself accomplish them. Like, the first time I saw myself with prominent ab muscles, that was a thrilling moment for me. The first time I got a $10,000 paycheck, that was a thrilling moment for me. I had to decide that those goals weren't going to be unrealistic for me anymore. They weren't going to be hard. Don't let yourself believe that being your ideal self is unrealistic. Don't just allow life to happen to you. Decide to be the version of you you'd be really fucking proud of. This is your life. Like, it's happening right now. And you can either wish it was a certain way, or you can decide that you want it bad enough to make it happen. Because changing is as easy as you want it to be. It just comes down to taking different actions, just learning new behaviors. Give yourself the attention that you give to shit that doesn't matter. Get clear on what you're not happy with and who you want to be, and then start taking the actions that that person would take. You're the only person that you're going to spend every second of the rest of your life with. So why not be somebody you actually like instead of convincing yourself that it's too hard?